Let's look at a real life lab test funnel and let's give some feedback right from the top of the funnel, all the way through to the sales page for the lab test and the member portal, and then even the information that inspires people to book a call with you. Let's go ahead and take a look at one from top to bottom. If you have been following me for any length of time, you know that I am requesting that you make a change. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm giving a talk at Fab Life, which is this weekend. Yeah, my talk is Saturday at 9 a.m. If you're coming, please let me know in comments. I would love to see you there. Make sure you come and find me. And the focus of that talk is the whole focus of the event is what the top 1% in health are doing. And of course, I'm addressing that from a marketing perspective in the online space. And when I was deciding, okay, what is the piece that I really think elevates everyone and helps our practitioner accelerator members get the biggest win, the one change that I really want people to make is that they stop going from free content on free platforms straight into their CRM. And their CRM is just, it's Go High Level, it's Kartra, it's ClickFunnels, it's whatever you're using, right? To gather everyone's emails. Your landing pages are built here, your emails are sent from here. That's your CRM. Okay. So what we used to teach in the old days was, hey, let's just go ahead and do a bunch of free content, and then we'll invite all those people to free webinars, right? Or free guides or free checklists, right? And what happened was, over time, and as the algorithm changes, that simply does not work as well anymore. Okay. Now, in order to save time for this funnel review, which I want you all to benefit from, I'm not going to go into all of the reasons behind that. There are many, but suffice it to say, the algorithms want to keep their advertisers happy, right? And they want to keep you, the user. There's a reason why they call us users, right? They want it to be addictive. Okay. And in order to keep the platforms highly profitable, they have to keep their advertisers happy. So one of the big things that's happening is that the algorithm is now really good at determining, oh, that's a person who likes to watch videos. That's a person who likes to opt in for free stuff. That's a person who likes to buy, right? And even if you know anything about running ads, you know that you can run ads with a specific goal, right? You can run a conversion ad if you want people opting in. You can run a sales goal if you're trying to get them to buy something, right? So since we know the algorithm does that, it makes sense that we need to take a slightly different strategy now that all of that is in play. Okay. So the strategy that I typically ask you guys to do is called, in marketing, it's called a low ticket offer. Sometimes it's called a self-liquidating offer. And it's called self-liquidating because ideally we grab a new client at a low ticket price point. So let's call it, under $100. Okay. We grab this new client and then we can spend up to $100 to acquire that client, provided we have really good back end offers. Okay. And by a back end offer, I mean, if you've ever heard of an offer ladder, right? It's like, okay, well, the offer ladder starts at the bottom with free content and then it moves up, hopefully, to a low ticket offer now. It used to be free content to a free webinar or a free guide. And then from there, we nurture them and we hope they buy. A lot of you were seriously hoping that they just bought the big thing, right? You bought the 10K to work with you for 3 months or whatever, right? And that's the relationship equivalent to asking someone to marry you right when you meet them, right? It doesn't give time for that know, like, and trust factor to develop. And so it's typically not very effective. Okay. So what I'm asking them to do is go free content on free platforms. Yes. And even if you love doing webinars or you love giving away free guides or free checklists, yay, do it. But give that content away in the chat, give it away in DMs, give it away in Messenger. Right? Go ahead and do those things in the messenger. Why? Because you're going to get more time on site, right? The algorithm is going to smile down upon you because you are keeping people engaged on that platform. Okay. And you're also sussing out, oh, is this person my ideal client avatar? Is this person who's like, nope, I'm never going to come cash out of pocket for your functional medicine services, for example? or your cash pay hormone balancing program. Like, if you can suss that out in the chats, through automations or through doing it yourself for the first few chats until you can automate it, why wouldn't you do that? You're winning all over the place, right? You're getting more time on site. You're getting more engagement in those algorithms. You have people following you oftentimes. Like, if I'm going to give away an asset in the chat, I'll build into the automation. And that ManyChat is an automation that I use. You guys, Go High Level already has these automations built in, so you might not need it. Okay. But I have it built into my chats to really get them talking about themselves so that I can see and my team can see, is this my ideal client avatar? Right? Because you guys, like health entrepreneurs, you're my ideal client avatar. But if it's like a doctor who works at Kaiser and he always wants to work at Kaiser and he never wants to have his own like side hustle or even his own online business, that's not my person, right? And so I actually don't want a whole bunch of those people in my CRM. Why? Because that's going to lower the quality of my list, which means less emails opened, less clicks on those emails, less buyers. Okay. So the reason that the top 1% are making this change, it's deep. Okay. So I've just given you the Reader's Digest version here. Okay. So you need to know that that is a primary change that the top 1% in healthcare are making. They're doing things differently now. Okay. It's not just put out free content and then host a webinar and then wonder why your webinar is not converting like hotcakes like it used to 5 years ago. Okay. That's gone. That ship has sailed. And so now it's time to buckle up and get on the roller coaster that you need to get on now. Okay. Now, my top 3 ways to go from free content on free platforms and then give away your free stuff, do the free things in the chat, okay? And then pull them into your world. I have 3 favorites, okay? They're in this order because at this price point, they convert in the highest order from this way. But this really just has to do with price. So listen up, okay? The first one is a book, okay? Because it's typically under $20. My book is my top performing funnel right now. And I also have my DMV registration. I have to go put my stickers on the Tesla. Okay. So my top performing funnel in my business right now is my book funnel. Okay. And I have a book calculator. So if you're interested in running what that can do for you, please just message me over on Instagram. I'll put the QR code so you guys can message me over Instagram. I do follow up here and do the questions on any channel too. My team looks out for them. But if you guys have questions for me about this, just go ahead and make sure that you get them all posted over on Instagram. And even if we don't cover them today, I'll circle back and follow up and make sure that we get your questions answered. Okay. So book funnel is my number 1. Why? Because it's under $20. So of course the volume is really high because it's an under $20 way for people to get the knowledge that I have, and they don't have to join my mastermind or buy into my programs. They don't have any tech things they have to manage. They just see if, is what this person saying smart? Does it work? Does it have social proof? Like, is there success stories in there that I can look online and see for myself? Yeah. Okay. So for under $20, we can get a really high know, like, and trust factor with an audience. As a matter of fact, Travis, he does our sales calls, right? And he's like, I can tell the people who are just going to want to enroll in your mastermind right away because they come on the call and they're like waving your book around like, I read it twice, And so they already have a high perception value of their time with us, of me, of what we do here at the HealAtScale brand because they've read the book. Okay. So number 1 is a book. Number 2 is a paid workshop. Okay. And again, this is just a price point issue because the workshops tend to be, I advise in my practitioner accelerator mastermind, I advise that the paid workshops have a very specific formula. Okay. There is winners and losers when it comes to workshop. We have a very specific formula for that. And I ask them to keep it under $100. Okay. So again, we're under $100 to have an experience that positions you as the obvious choice with whom to solve their problems. Okay. So book raises know, like, a trust authority fast. It's under $20. Paid workshop. They solve one small problem, not the whole problem that you solve, but they solve one specific problem on a workshop that costs them less than $100. Bam, that raises your know, like, and trust factor. The third one, and that's what this book is about. It was the most profitable funnel for practitioners in my mastermind. So I wrote a book about it. So all y'all who are not in our mastermind would have the step-by-step process of how to get it done. Okay. If you do not already have that book, or if you want it, I will throw this on screen. This this is a good way to grab that book. You can also grab it on Amazon. But when you get it through that funnel, you get this whole implementation support where I'm walking you through chapter by chapter exactly what you need to do to launch your own lab test funnel. Okay. And do the sales calls. Like I take you all the way through to the finish line. So if you guys do not already have a copy of that, you might want that. Okay. So how do we move people from free content on free platforms into our CRM? We give the free stuff away in chat and via messenger and comments, and then we invite them to make a small low ticket offer, a book, a paid workshop, or a lab test funnel. Okay. The lab test funnel works like gangbusters, you guys. The reason why it's third is because it has a little bit less volume because it tends to be a higher price point. Right? It would be a higher price point because you're paying for the lab. Plus, I want you to get an education and resource fee for providing resources during what I call the marketing golden hour. Okay. Now, you're going to see the marketing golden hour in action because we're going to do a full funnel review thanks to the beautiful Dr. Brooke Leverone. Okay. What she has decided is that she would be brave and she would take one for the team. All right. So I would love if you're here with us in chat. I'm going to get my chat on screen so I can see you guys. Hey, Florida's here. Missouri's here. California's here. Hey, guys. Awesome. 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 Thanks for letting me know where you're from. That's awesome. I would love to know in chat if you are offering a lab test funnel. Will you give me a sense of what type of funnel that you're offering? Is it hormone based? Is it autoimmune based? Is it metabolic based? Like I would love to know what kind of lab tests you guys are thinking of leading with. If you're leading with it already, or if you maybe came to the Labs to Lead Summit and you're thinking about offering an upfront lab. The way that this works so well, the reason it works so well, you guys, is a lot of you don't love the selling piece of what you do. And when the people already have their lab test results, the lab test results themselves, the results, they show people, oh shit, I have to do something about this. Like, look at all this stuff that's not going right. Like, I need to take action. And when you're the person who gave them access to that test, and when you are the person who provided banging content between the time they ordered it and the time that their test result comes in, and when their test result comes in, you do what's called a lab explanation video. You're going to see one of all of these today, okay? Because Dr. Brooke Leverone was so brave. She's letting me do a full funnel audit, top to bottom, of everything that I would change if this funnel was my own. Now, that benefits you because when you go to do your lab test funnel, you're already going to know what other people have been doing wrong. Okay. So that is like massively protective of you that she was willing to do this, you guys. So let's give a little thanks to Dr. Brooke in the chat. Okay. We have some people. Why do I present on YouTube live via Zoom? Oh, easy question, the catty bird. I do this on Restream because I can be live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, but I forgot to turn it on this morning. It's brand new. And so I like to be live with all y'all at the same time. And then it pulls all of your questions into me from all the different platforms onto one. Okay. I'm going to throw this up on, I get this question all the time. It's so funny. Like I want to help you guys make a shit ton of money. And I get the funniest questions from you sometimes. It's like, here, this is the platform that I use. Go check it out, you guys. It allows me to do one video one time a week. It's called Restream. It allows me to do one video one time a week. Mine is Tuesday at 10 a.m. And then when I'm done, it like a 20 or 30 minutes later, it'll give me an email. It sends me an email and my EA sees it. And it's already made all these short form video clips of all the smart things that I said. I'm always like, did I say that? Look at that. That's a good video. I don't love doing short form video. So the fact that it splices and dices it into short form video that can then be put out as a reel or a story or a YouTube short or whatever, I love it. So that's the reason that I do that. All right. So that's why I do it. I'll leave it up here on screen if you guys want to try it. I highly recommend it. It's what I ask my mastermind members to use because I actually like them to do one video a week. And then I have a content deployment process that I want them to use. And their VA takes that one video and splices and dices and put it all over the place. Okay. And if you guys are like, wait, what mastermind? I want to hang out in there. That sounds really cool. Then go ahead and explore what it looks like to be in our community. Okay. Don't go there unless you want your ass kicked to grow a business. Okay. If you have no audience at all, no email list and no audience, it typically takes us to get it. It'll take you about 3 years to get $1 million run rate in your business. $1 million run rate is like 83.3K a month, you guys. Okay. That's my goal, is all y'all should be millionaires, because we don't have anything if we don't have our health, and you guys give that to us. So that's my goal. If you already have a list and a following, then you could get there in a year if you listen and do everything. Okay. It just kind of depends like where you are in your business. There's people who come to us and like, make me a millionaire, and they have nothing. They don't have anything online, no online presence, no list, no following. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You actually have to put in the work. But if you want your ass kicked to grow your business, that community is the place for you to get it done. Okay. Okay. So you guys, I got your question and answer about Restream. Okay. So the labs, you guys are, it looks like we've got some people here who want to lead with HTMA. If you came to the Labs to Lead Summit, you saw the success story with Dr. Jennifer. She's, what was it, over about 6 months, it was 120 plus. So adding 20K a month to your practice from one fucking funnel. Like I love that for her. I'm so happy. The Katie Bird is thinking about leading with the Dutch, but you're concerned it's too expensive. Remember, the Dutch line of testing has a whole big bunch. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you came to the Labs to Lead Summit, I did a whole conversation with Dr. Kelly Roof, which is the head educator over at Precision Analytical. Precision Analytical is the maker of the Dutch testing. In case you didn't know that, you probably do, but just making sure. And I asked her to walk me through the entire line of Dutch testing so that people would have like entry-level affordable options. We even ran a scenario where you could start with an inexpensive blood serum test and then upsell to the Dutch with a video that explains why the Dutch is so much better, because typically we don't have time to go into that level of detail on a sales page. So we talked through that. If you missed the Labs to Lead Summit, you can still, let me see if I have a code on here for you that's going to take you right there. I feel like you can still, you guys test that and see if it works. But I think that should take you to the page where you can buy the recordings. It's more than worth it. Like it's the recordings of the entire 3-day summit. And if you're thinking about doing hormone testing with Dutch, that conversation with Dr. Kelly Roof is more than worth having lifetime access to the upgrades. Okay. So you're thinking of leading with Dutch. Okay. So we got some HTMA. We've got some hormone testing. Let me make sure what other hormone is going to be really okay. We're getting massive props for Brooke for thank you for doing this. I love it. Okay, got it. You know what? I think that I might be able to help you out with dropping links. I'm going to try to do that a little bit later so I can keep going. Okay. Oh, you're going to do gene. Okay. So we got some gene people in here too. Okay. Awesome. Resilient says, I did purchase the Lab to Lead Summit. Okay, so we've got a nice mix of this, you guys. Here's your task, okay? Your task as I go through this is not to sit back and point the finger at what Dr. Brooke is doing wrong or right, okay? That will literally do nothing for you except have you sit in judgment or have you feel like, man, I'm glad I didn't volunteer for this, right? And none of those are going to make you money, okay? In case you can't tell, I fucking want you guys to make money. I think that you're amazing. I wanted to be a doctor myself. I think that it's miraculous that I run a marketing agency that gets to help other medical professionals make more money because, spoiler alert, I just pass out at the sign of blood or anyone in extreme duress. I'm just like, whoa, like timber over like a tree, which is great. It all works out. I get to help you guys instead. So I absolutely love that. But I'm committed to your success, okay? I'm so committed to this. So as we go through this, I want you to open your own social media channel. And I want you to ask yourself, of the mistakes that Joy's talking about that Brooke is making, am I making those mistakes and how quickly could I turn them around? Okay. My goal is we're going to break up the rest of our time together and we're going to I'm going to literally set myself an alarm so we could try to do like a speed round. And I'm going to spend no more than 8 minutes on the Instagram piece. Okay. I'm going to spend no more than, and the whole point is we're going to move them from Instagram, her main social media channel, to the lab test funnel sales page, because that's what we want to sell, right? That's what she wants to sell. And then we're going to spend 7 minutes on the page. Okay. And then in the lab test on the lab test funnel sales page, assuming that the person who visits that page buys the lab test, I want you to see what it looks like that they go inside a member portal. And we want to make sure that her content is doing a bang up job of helping her people see her value and want the program, the hormone balancing program that sits on the back end of this lab test funnel offer. Okay. And if you guys don't know what I mean by back end, I always just think of like marketing like a line, right? So the free content on the free platform, then they end up on her lab test funnel sales page. And what's she going to sell on the back of that? She's going to sell a hormone balancing program, a group program, or she'll take a few clients at a very high price where they work with her privately. Okay. So when I say back end offer, that's what I mean. The front end offer is just pulling people in through the door. Christine is asking, what about just a CBC? Well, you would really need to differentiate that, my dear friend, because they can get a CBC covered by their insurance by a conventional doctor. Now, you're preaching to the choir, girl. I know that we look at a typical CBC through a completely different lens than conventional medicine doctors were. I totally understand that. But if I were you, I would not do a generic CBC. I would customize a panel that was really hitting the measurements that I like to look at in my own patients or clients, so that it was unique, so that like I was putting my own joy spin on it, right? Or you're going to put your own Christine spin on it. Okay. All right. So stay away from the generic. Okay. And let's dial into exactly what you want to be known for. Okay. Yeah. Resilient. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I love that. She's also not differentiating herself, right? And what we have to do, you guys have such a challenge. You have such a marketing challenge because you need to grow a know, like, and trust factor. You need to sell shit just like every other brand online. Okay. But you also have to get people to come cash out of pocket for something that they're already overpaying for insurance for. Okay. So it really is challenging. And that's why I'm here to help you. Okay. I totally get it. Okay. So yes, you guys, custom, do something custom, even give it a custom name. As you're going to see, we're going to look at a panel that, Dr. Brooke does, and hers is a blood panel, is custom for her. She picked her integrators, like her separating factors that she wants to add in there, her additional markers she wanted to add in. And then she gives it a name that is uniquely her. And I want it to be uniquely her. Okay. Because if she's just saying, oh, this is this blood serum with this and this and this and this, well, anybody could just come along and copy that. And we don't want that. Okay. Especially now, you guys, people can go to Function Health and they can just order whatever the hell test they want now. So we really need to do a good job of calling it a specific thing, giving the lab test a good name, and then holding their hand such that we cultivate a small, intimate community that you sit at the head of. Okay. Because you don't need to have a bazillion followers or bazillion buyers. You just need an intimate community of people who trust you to put the right test in front of them. Okay. Oat has been instrumental. Great. Yeah. Now I wouldn't call it the oat, right? Like I would give it a fancy name, my dear friend, so that they don't just go to, they just don't go to Function Health and order the oat without you. Okay. So you'll see what I'm talking about as we go through Brooks. All right. Are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and start top to bottom and get through this funnel. I will set myself a timer on my phone so I don't take too long on any one of these and we don't get to look at all of them. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 7 minutes. All right. That should give us plenty of time.
Counting down.
Thank you, Siri. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share screen, and you should be opening your own primary social media channel. Okay. So for Dr. Brooke, we're looking at her Instagram channel. For you, this might be Facebook. It might be TikTok. It might be YouTube, but I want you to open yours and look at it while I am doing this. Okay. So let's go ahead and go. Google Chrome. Oh, yeah, you can do that. Okay. So I'm going to have you guys tell me in chat if you can see it, because usually I have a partner here who could let me know if you're seeing it. Okay, it looks to me like you guys can see her screen, but just confirm that for me in chat. It looks like we can see her Instagram. So you should be seeing Dr. Brooke here. She's a beautiful gal with this lovely auburn hair and styling glasses. This is her. So I'm going to check in chat and just see if you guys can see this. Okay, it looks like you can. All right, let me pop on over here so I can see it and then I can scroll through. Okay. All right, we are going to start right up here at the top. Okay, so she has decided to go with her brand name. Okay, personal choice whether you go with your name or your brand name. If you're going to want to develop a following and you want to be able to sell that to someone else, it's better to lead with your with a brand name like this. Okay, so this tells me that Brooke one day might want to be able to sell Oasis hormone therapy to someone else, which is a one business plan. Okay, the other business plan is she's like, nope, I want to do hormones forever, in which case she would want to brand her own name as opposed to a separate brand. Okay, so you guys have to make that decision. And for me, I make that decision by, might I want to do an exit in this business in the next 3 to 5 years? If the answer is no, then I would use my name. Okay, because I can take a know, like, and trust factor for my name and I can point that towards the offers that I'm selling right now. And then 5 years from now, I could point it to, peptide filled wrinkle cream or something that doesn't disrupt your hormones, right? Like, and I could turn my know, like, and trust factor and I could put that attention on that brand. A good example of this, you guys, is Dave Asprey, right? I think all of you know who he is. He was also the founder of Bulletproof Coffee, right? And so he developed his own name and he pointed that to Bulletproof. And then he gave Bulletproof its own sub Instagram account and started growing the shit out of that until eventually he like sold out and, got a board of directors and went big and all that, right? So depending on what you want to do. So I'm going to assume that she's like, yeah, okay, one day somebody could walk up and write me a check for this business. That would be okay with me. Okay. If you're like, nope, I want my itty bitty businesses and this is what I want to do for my whole life, please keep your name. Okay. And then she lets us know, okay, Dr. Brooke Leverone, ND, Oasis Hormone Therapy. Okay. So one could argue that she's already made it clear that she's Dr. Brooke Leverone, ND, right here where I'm highlighting this. So the fact that she's using this space to say naturopath and this space to say naturopath, can you guys see where she's taking really valuable real estate and she's repeating the same thing over and over? Not the best use of space. Okay. So what I love is that she's made it very clear that she's a doctor and she's made it very clear that she does hormone therapy. She's accomplished that right here. Awesome. I love that for her. Okay. So I don't want her to also take up more precious real estate down here doing that. Okay. Also, this is like 18 years plus helping women feel like herself. That 18 years plus is valid, but we've got more room up here, right? So what I would want to do is make sure that she's clear about what she's trying to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at what she's using in her bio here. I would refresh this bio a little bit because right here, she's got naturopath and she's already accomplished that right here. So I would use this differently. And then I would also use this differently. So these two are redundant. Okay. And then when she's saying 18 plus years helping women feel like themselves, I'd say if she likes that line, I would bump it right up here to the top. Okay. And if she wants the hormone expert, she's got hormone therapy here. I would go ahead and see if she could put right here, hormone expert with over 18 years experience, right? So she could keep that on there if she wants to. And then for my 3 lines, I would make this all about my ideal client avatar, right? Because I want them to see this is the page for me if I want to get blank. Okay. So she knows her ideal client better than anyone. I know a little bit about her ideal client avatar, but I'm not going to know them like she is. I know you guys because I've been serving you guys for 15 years. Okay. But let's just say if we look down here deeper, if we go further down here, you'll see that she is actually like a weightlifting champion. Like she's won state, maybe even a federal or a national. She wins. She's like a fucking winner. And I think what we could do is kind of parlay her passion and interest for fitness into what she does, right? So there's a bazillion people out there doing hormones. So let's say that she wanted to help people like achieve their, optimize hormones for ideal physique, optimal weight loss, and energy and stable moods or whatever. Like, I don't know what the top 3 things of her people are, but I would put the top 3 desires of her people right here. Because if this said, hormone expert with 18 years experience, and then it said, helping women, optimizing hormones to gain muscle mass while dropping belly fat, have energy, have natural energy, and, enjoy stable moods. Let's say those were the three things that her people wanted. I would love to see those things up here so that people are like, oh, hot damn, I am in the right place. Okay. Now, the next thing that we want to know here is she's got free call or $199 hormone clarity labs. There's two things that I would not do if this was my page. A, you're always going to get a higher conversion rate when you only ask for one ask, right? So imagine if we compare marketing to the development of a human romantic relationship, let's say, that would be like a guy being like, would you like to get married or would you like to go away for the weekend? You know what I mean? Like now he seems even more crazy, right? Because it would be crazy to ask someone to get married right when you're meeting them, right? But then also he sounds like he's wavering and he can't really decide what he wants you to do with him. Okay. So, okay, I get it. I totally get it. Siri, I'm going to take one more minute here. Okay. Siri, put 2 more minutes on the timer. Okay.
There are no timers set.
Okay, got you. 10:32. We're going to go to 10:35. Okay, because this is important, you guys. So instead of saying free call or $199 Clarity Labs, she should offer the one that she wants to sell right now, the one that makes sense in her business. Now, how does she know which one makes sense in her business? If she doesn't have enough calls to clearly define her ideal client avatar and use language that they use, she should be taking calls, okay? But I know for a fact, bitch already know her avatar, right? Like she knows, she's smart, she knows these people, right? And she probably doesn't want to be wasting a lot of time on free consults, okay? Probably not her favorite use of time right now, okay? So if I'm going to take that wild guess that that's what she wants, I would say I would not say the price of the hormone clarity test because I want to make sure that I'm getting outbound clicks to go check out the test. And if price is a factor, I would rather find that out on the sales page than find out right here on Instagram. Okay. Now I'm just going to circle back over here to you guys where I can see the chat and make sure that you understand this. Okay. So no questions. It's not showing her name. It starts on her forehead. Okay. Got it. Okay. Oh, you can't see the top of her page. Okay. Let me see if I can screen down a little bit. Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys. Okay. Let me go back over here. Okay. So so I would change her call to action. Okay. So if I were her, I would probably put like a little blood draw here or a little lab beaker or something like that. Right. And I would say, test your hormones now. Right. Or, test your hormone, stop guessing, test your hormones, stop guessing, something like that. And I would pick that one call to action because if we have one call to action, our conversion rate is going to be much higher than if we're like trying to say, take this or take that. Okay. So I absolutely would do that. And then that means here in her links, she's going to, instead of saying book a free discovery call, hormone clarity panel, right? Now, hormone clarity panel is the name of her test. Okay. But that's not the end benefit for the user, is it? The test is not the benefit. Okay. So I might say test, don't guess, right? Or test your hormones, stop guessing, right? Get data you need, make smart decisions with clear data, right? Like I would say, or even access hormone testing now, right? But like I would want one call to action here that does not show the price. And I would put it right up here at the top. Okay. Only if I loved spending time on my discovery calls or if I was new, like if I didn't have enough business yet and I needed to be in the trenches with my people, I would go ahead and do the discovery call. So she has a choice to make. If this was my business, I would lead with the labs and I would not show the price. Right. And I would say, test your hormones now. That's the win for them, is that they actually access her favorite hormone test. You guys see it? So I would want that. Okay. Now, really quick, I'm going to spend a little more time on this because top of funnel, she needs traction, right? I can tell she needs traction because this audience is not that big. Now, you guys go look at my audience. I drive traffic with ads and affiliates, or I do my organic just to keep my ads account up and running. You know what I mean? Like my ads account performs better if I do some content. Okay. So I'm I'm not saying you have to be an Instagram princess in order to rock it, but I can tell that she needs traction here because her audience for what she does is not that big. Okay. Now, my audience, just the total adjustable market for practitioners, like that's not an endless group of humans, right? But there's an almost endless group of humans who are struggling with their hormones right now. Okay. Even in the age range that she wants to serve. Okay. So those are the changes that I would make up there. All right. Now, what I would change here is she's not using any highlights. Okay. So if I had let's see, she has start here. Okay. Let's see what her start here says. Okay. So you can feel like yourself again. Okay. I don't mind that. Okay. But as opposed to start, you can feel like yourself again, like that's very generic, isn't it? Whereas for her, if she's going to be like the hormone guru for people who want to optimize their, muscle, they want to gain muscle, but they want to reduce belly fat and they want to feel like a fucking badass in this world. So for her, it might be, dropping belly fat while gaining muscle mass and elevating drive, right? So, and drive can mean so many things, right? But for her as like a power lifter, yeah, let's ditch the fat we don't want. Let's get the muscle we do want and let's have drive. Drive to win, drive to have sex, drive to earn more money, all of that. Because she's just like such a power chick. You know what I mean? So as opposed to feel like yourself again, right? That could mean anything. Like a therapist could say that, like, oh, after a breakup, I want you to feel like yourself again. I would be less generic and more specific because the riches are in the niches. So I would have her be saying like, hey, let's, drop excess fat, get those muscle gains, have the drive you deserve. Like I would want to be going straight for that because if those are the wins, okay? So the caveat to that is she knows her avatar better than I do. I'm not going to say that a bazillion more times. I have to remind you, she knows her avatar better than I do. She should be focusing on the top things that they really want, okay? So her start here, it looks like it has only one. Yeah. And the other thing is she's got a lot of I content here, right? I like this. You're not alone, but I decided naturopath, right? I was raised eating fruits and vegetables. I want to see her using more you language and I want to see her avatar's pain points or desires in the on-screen headlines. That would help her convert a whole big bunch more. Okay. Now and also there's a process for what you guys should have up here. It's in Simple Social School, so I won't go into all the details, but I have a very specific formula for what belongs up here. And she doesn't have all of those things. The biggest the one that's missing the most that I don't want to see missing is like client wins, right? Like women like me, if I'm her ideal client avatar who've had success with her, I want that to be up here so people can see that she's got social proof that she gets results. Okay. Now, here is what I would say, taking a fast glance at this. When you choose your pinned posts up here, they should be like, hey, tell me what I can expect as a potential follower of this page. Tell me what I can expect from this page. Like, hey, you can count on me for. And notice, not like I'm going to tell you A, B, and C, but you can count on me for A, B, and C, right? Because I want to get the follow, right? I want them following. Following matters less the way that the algorithms are, but still everybody wants some followers, right? So I'm going to still tell her what could work, okay? So I want right here, what can I count on her for, okay? And then I would want to see a little bit about her process. And then I want to see a success story. And then I want to see an invite to do something for her. If the primary call to action is going to be her lab test funnel, I want that to be the primary call of action. Okay. Now, when I look at this as a quick peek, it's hot, stay hydrated with electrolytes. That's just a tip. Okay. But people don't want just generic tips. Okay. They don't want like, oh, prove lower inflammation naturally. You know what? People don't have an understanding about what inflammation is and how it causes the pain points that they don't want. So it's your responsibility as a leader in the space to lead them in the door to the conversation about inflammation by talking about one of their pain points. Okay. So what if, for example, instead of being hydrated, she could talk about the relationship that holding on to excess fat or not getting the gains that you want or not having the drive that you want. If she could leave me in with one of those desires or pain points that I want to evade, and then tell me what hydration has to do that once the content has started, like, yay, that's awesome. Okay. But what I do love is this, if this is an affiliate offer for her, I love that she's fitting those in. Okay. So overall, you can see what's missing here is, hey, let's say that we picked, dropping visceral fat, keeping muscle gains, and experiencing drive. So we could cultivate this whole audience of badass women who want to win at the sport that they're committed to. They want to have more drive, more libido, more energy to show up as the women that they want to be in their life, but those things are missing, okay? Then what I should be seeing in these headlines here are the wins that they want and the pains they want to avoid. And can you see how I'm seeing her pretty face and her welcoming smile? But like this row is pretty indicative of what we're seeing in her feed. And none of these have the on-screen caption that draw me in to watch it. And that's why her content is not getting the kind of volume and shares that it should be, because she might not stop the scroll unless people already know who she is and they're like, oh, I want to hear what she says. But we can change that by simply putting on screen a pain point that our people want to avoid or a desire that they want to achieve, and then lean in and connect the dots about inflammation, about vitamin D, about hydration, about protein levels, about all the things that we want to geek out on. Okay. But truth be told, someone could be having waning muscle mass when they want to be a badass lifter like her and not know that it's their hormones. So the things that I'm seeing on screen here, inflammation, hormones, those will stop other peers, right, to have those conversations with her, but it's not likely to stop her client avatar. Okay, I already went over, so now I'm going to move on to the next page, okay? So ideally, we move from this page and someone says, yes, I want to buy your lab test funnel. So where does that take us? Okay. So let's go ahead and go to her hormone clarity lab panel. Okay. If I were her, I would do this as a directive. Test your hormones now, or get your hormones tested now. It's called an embedded command, and it's an NLP, like a neuro linguistic programming. And it works fucking great for calls to action. So calls to action should be embedded commands when you want higher conversion. So if this said, test your hormones now, then I click that. Okay. Now I'm going to come over here. Now I think I need to go change the screen share. If you guys are going to see this. Okay. So right now I'm still sharing Instagram. Let me go over and share a different one. Okay. So give me a second. Stop sharing Instagram. And now let's start sharing Get Hormone Clarity. Love it. Okay. That page. So I have too many tabs open. Let's go back over here. So I might have too many tabs open for you to see it. Oh, you can't see my tabs anyway. But in the tab, it says Get Hormone Clarity. That's an embedded command, right? Because get is a verb, like get hormone clarity. Okay. So now we are on her lab test funnel. Okay. I love your real life dialogue. Thank you, Resilient. Okay, let's get this answered before we dive in here. Does selling the lab funnel on your provider page breach the firewall between prospects and patients? You should go watch the conversation with Lisa Frawley. Okay, you totally should do that, because I like my clients to have a separate, here, I'll move this so we can see each other. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, I like my clients to have a separate clinic social media and then all of their online offers. I like it that way. Lisa Frawley wants you to have it that way. So that is an absolutely wonderful question. Now, she doesn't have an in-person clinic. These are all online offers. So for her, there's no conflict there. Okay. But here's the deal. Okay. I want to come on here with you guys. Here's the deal. Because she doesn't have an in-person clinic and all of her online offers, that, like, some of you do have a brick wall that you need to put up between in-person clinic, okay, and online prospecting. Okay. And this is where you're selling your coaching, your information products. If you did not see that conversation with Lisa Frawley, you absolutely need to do it. Okay. So I'm going to put that if you didn't see it, just upgrade to VIP and get yourself the recordings. You need to watch it like 100 times and make sure that you're legally connected. And anybody who watches that video, there's a link underneath it where you can do a free 15-minute consult with Lisa Frawley. She's my favorite attorney in the health space. Absolutely love her. She keeps people protected in the online online space. And that's what matters to me, is that you're super, super protected. Okay. So I will shut this one down. Okay. Let's go ahead and just go back to this one, and we'll get rid of this. I'm going to hide this one right now so it's nice and big. Can I make it full screen? That's as full screen as it goes, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm going to accept all the cookies. So let me come over here, accept all cookies so we can see the full screen. Okay, you guys should be able to see the full screen here now. Okay, so now we've got, this is called an avatar call out up here at the top, right? So typically, like in the template that we gave her, there is actually an avatar call out at the top. It's a different color and it goes right up here, right? And the avatar call out, you guys, is meant to confirm for people that they're on the right page. So if she had kept that avatar call out, let me see if I can show you another one that has it really quick. Let me just see if I have a quick link to it, and then I'll share this screen instead. I want you guys to see what I love it to look like. And this will be good for the one of you who wants to do HTMA as her funnel. So let me stop this one. Okay. And then I'm going to share this one. I just want you to see what an avatar call out is. Okay. And an avatar call out literally is just to confirm for the avatar, like, yeah, you're on the right page. Like, this is you're on the right page. Okay. So right up here where it says, for dynamic people ready to unlock their body's full potential, I want the visitor of this page to be like, that's me. That's what I want. I know I'm walking around in this meat sack, and I know my meat sack is not feeling like a Ferrari right now. It's feeling like some old Jetta, and I need to get it upgraded. And I want to use the lab testing that Dr. Jennifer is suggesting in order to help me get back to Ferrari status. Okay. So if I were her, I would have kept that. Okay, so I would not have deleted it. So now I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to stop this one. We're going to come back to her page. Now you guys know what an avatar call out is. I'm going to check chat, and someone is saying, I did see Lisa and she's fabulous. Right, Amy? Dude, she's just so smart. And she makes it so easy to keep yourself, like black and white. Jamie is asking, if we aren't sure yet, we want to build a vertical, would it be an option to have both a personal and business? You can, but Jamie, let's face it, unless you're really killing it right now, you don't have time to keep up two brands. Pick one and go with it. Trust yourself. When I see that, that is a sign that you might not be making what you're worth, because you're not moving through life confidently and making decisions that you feel good about. Worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to pivot, right? Worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to decide you want to develop a brand instead, and you can rename your Instagram. Not that often, but you can rename it like 3 times in 6 months or something like that. So make a decision and stick with it. You do not have time. Not if you want to succeed at the level that I want you to succeed. You do not have time to be waffling. So make a decision and stick with it. Okay. I stand behind you. All right. Let's get back over to her page. Okay. So let's go get hormone clarity. That's this page right here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So I would have left the avatar call out, and I would have said, hey, for women ready to ditch belly fat, enjoy muscle gains and ramp up drive, right? I would have been like, hey, let's go for the things these bitches want, right? Either that, or I would have hit exactly, who she wants to serve, right? So let's say that she wanted to serve, for like athletic women ready for their next, level, right? Athletic women seeking their next level performance, something like that. If she wanted to go straight for those high achievers in the sports, running, marathons, powerlifting, she could go straight for that and get them to self-identify as like, fuck yes, I'm on the right page. That's me. That's what I want for her. I want confirmation that they're her people and they recognize themselves on that page. Okay. Now, when I look at this, you're not crazy. It's your hormone. This test can prove it. Okay. I like what she's doing here, because she's like validating that some of them may have already gone to maybe their OBGYN or their typical doctor, and they get that your labs are normal, go home, or else would you like some Xanax? So I could see that she's probably trying to confirm that. Okay. However, I want to get into this. I love that she's got the hormone clarity panel. Okay. Because if that's what the end goal is that they have a clear understanding of exactly what's going on with their hormones and what they can do about it. If that's what she's going for, and it is because she picked this title, then I want this subtitle to back this. Okay. Now let me explain what I mean by back this up. she's assuming that her people want clarity about what the fuck is going on, right? They want to make smart decisions about their health. As a matter of fact, in the lab test funnel template, for those of you that have it, Travis built in a line that I encourage people to keep. And it says, get the data to make smart decisions about your health. And I love that line. Okay. And the people who leave it in, it converts. Okay. Let me even see. Yes. So here, let me go back to Jennifer's and I want to show you this. Okay. And this is Jennifer's funnel. You guys, we talked about this funnel. Remember 126K, like adding shit tons of money. I want you to see also what works. So let me stop share for 1 second. Okay. And I want you to see what I'm talking about here. Okay. Share. Yes. So do you see here where it says body systems mineral analysis? Get the data you need to determine what systems of your body need immediate support. Because she named it body systems mineral analysis, can you see how get the data you need to determine what systems of your body need immediate support? Do you guys see it? Like the name of the test itself says you need to check in on all your body systems. And then the subhead says you need this data in order to make changes. And that's what I'm saying. When I want her subhead line to match or to back up the title of her test, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So and this funnel is converting like hotcakes. So we know it works. Okay. And like full transparency, Jennifer is in my mastermind. And so she gets her ass kicked by me to change her copy and, convert and get it ever better. So full transparency there. Okay. Let me get back to this page. Okay, so now we're going to do. So first, I would keep an avatar call out up at the top. She's deleted that. You're not crazy. It's your hormones. This test can prove it. Okay, maybe that resonates with her people because they feel like that. But this line here needs to back this up. The hormone clarity panel, right? It would need to back it up. And one way that she could do that, let's see what she's focusing on, a data-backed way for determined women to discover what's really going on with your weight, mood, energy, libido, so you can stop feeling dismissed and start feeling like yourself again. Okay, so I think this is being relatively generic in the hormone space. Brooke is anything but generic, okay? She's the most fucking fun, badass bitch you're ever going to meet. And people like her will be attracted to her. So these are going to be people who want their drive up, right? Drive meaning they want to win, drive meaning their hormones, like their libido is on, right? Drive to win competitions, drive to, in her case, it might be weightlifting, but it wouldn't matter, right? It's like maybe someone else wants to win a marathon or they want a gold medal or whatever. Like it's women who have that competitive drive like her that are likely to be attracted to her, okay, to working with her. Maybe also attracted to her. I don't know. Who am I to say? Okay. Okay. So the hormone clarity panel, I would go ahead and repeat the importance of that, right? A date, and if she likes this, like a data-backed way to get the clarity on what's happening with your hormones that has you holding on to weight, losing muscle mass, and feeling absent of any drive, all right? Or you could do the opposite if you want, but the brain has a negativity bias. So I find leading with resolving the pain points can sometimes convert better than leading with the possibility of earning those gains, those positives, okay? So we might say, finally, and I would also say that she's missing some SEO kind of opportunities here. Now, she might not have enough brand following for SEO to even like come into play, but still, I want to get her a lift wherever I can. So I would probably say either a function or like functional medicine or a precision functional medicine test. Finally, a precision functional medicine test, precision or function, not both. Okay. A functional medicine test that gives you clarity on how your hormones are causing you to hold on to fat, taking away, stealing your muscle gains, and robbing you of your drive. Right? Like then the hormone clarity panel is backed up by the subheader. Does everybody get that? Like it's subtle what I'm saying. It's a subtle change that I'm asking for. But one logically goes behind the other. Okay. And I really want to speak directly to her people. Now, I'm going to say one more thing about this. When I find practitioners that are trying to stay really general about their ideal client avatar's symptoms or their experience of life, it's typically coming from a scarcity mindset. Like, I don't have enough. I'm not making enough. There won't be enough people who will resonate with my message. And so I'm going to try to stay really wide and really general, and I'm not going to get into the weeds. That is a big mistake. There is a reason since the 1930s in marketing that there's been this phrase, like, the riches are in the niches. The more you wrap on to who you really want to be and who you really want to serve, and you speak directly to their pain points and not everybody else's, the more of an audience you will grow, and the more it will grow faster. Now, here's the really cool thing. You will also catch the other people who belonged in that more general net. Why? Because what they will be attracted to is you speaking to people getting the results that you are committed to them getting. Okay. So in her case, yeah, she doesn't want any extra belly fat, right? And she does want those gains, right? She wants to hit her personal best, and she does want drive, right? Sex drive, business drive, all the drive to be the woman that she wants to be. So the more that she commits with her personality and her words, that is charismatic. It's magnetic. People flock to it. And even though their hormone experience or their hormone pain points might be a little bit different, what they will be attracted to is, oh my God, she's getting success for all of these people. She's getting her wins. She can help me get my wins. Okay. So stop living in scarcity and start speaking directly to the people who you would jump out of bed. Now, knowing who Brooke is for her weightlifting and her competitive community, for her to have a line around the digital block, so to speak, of clients who want to win, who are competitive, who want to drive, who want muscle gain, who want libido. Like, I know her, and I know that she would love to serve that audience. She would jump out of bed to serve that audience. Okay. All right. So enough about that. So there's a couple of other things here that I would say. Did you notice on her Instagram that we got almost all full face videos of her? So we saw her lovely auburn hair and her cute glasses and her adorable, beautiful smile. You know, we saw all of that. But here, there's like one picture of her way back here, kind of small, and I can barely eat. Like, it's not a great picture of her really well lit or anything. And so I'm not even totally sure that I would be on the right place. So I actually want to see her. So if I had it all my way, she would have a nice big picture of her right here. She could even just do a Zoom, like on her next Zoom call. She could frame herself as the speaker, and then she could have all the other women in her group. Brooke, you can do this on one of our mastermind calls, right? I do this for mastermind members all the time. I make them the biggest screen. I have all the rest of us up at the top. We take a screenshot of it, and then we see her face right here, nice and big, and whatever. We could also put it on the phone. It doesn't matter. But like, do you see how we don't really see her here? I think way down on the page, I saw that there was, but it's like way. Do I even see it? Where is it? I'm not seeing one. I felt like there was one big picture of her. Yeah, this one. Okay. So yes, now I'm like, okay, this is her friendly, smiley self, right? I want this. I want to see more. I want to be able to see more of her higher up so that we're tapped in. We know it's her. We're on the right page. We're in the right community. Okay. So I would want to see that nice and big here. This is called a hero image when you're kind of showing off what you get. But what she's done really well about this is she's showing off a hormone panel test. She's showing that she has a Facebook group. She's showing that she has this member portal. If I had it on my way, this would be the picture of her. And then this would be the member portal with one of her member portal videos playing where we also see her face there too. Okay. So I would change that. Red CTA buttons can have a negative effect on conversion. I hate it for those of you who it's just in your color palette. It does work really well for strong male brands once in a while, but typically that can be an issue. It doesn't look like it's like in your brand colors anywhere else. So I would consider changing that. Okay. It looks like when I was looking at some of your other things, it looked like your brand is yellow and blue. And if you did a blue background, then a bright yellow obnoxious button would probably convert really well, especially if you went like dark navy right here and then you did the text in white, then you could use a bright yellow. Your logo was blues with a pop of yellow. So I would go dark blue here, white text, and a bright yellow button, see if I could get my conversion up higher. Okay. I love this. Okay. Are you struggling with? Okay. A loss of confidence. See, I don't see any of the things. Like I see the unexplained weight gain. Okay. But I would get deeper into it and talk about it like they talk about it. I doubt a girl who is like bitching to her best girlfriend at lunch that she's got a muffin top, or she's like, man, I am working out the same way I used to work out 6 years ago when I had a six pack. I'm eating the same, I'm working out the same, and I look 6 months pregnant instead of having a six pack. Fuck this shit. Like, I feel like there's probably a language that is a little more kitchen table than unexplained weight gain. I don't think any woman is saying that to her bestie. Okay. So I would like you to hit me hard with the language that your people are actually using. Okay. And then I would put it in priority. So if weight gain, so like I noticed one of the feedbacks, one of the testimonials was like the first thing that the woman mentioned was weight gain. So if weight gain is their biggest reason that they come to you, let's get that up here, right? Like, hey, fat loss, right? So like, let's get it. Like, and what are you struggling with? Obviously, we're listing these as the pain points, but list them in order of importance. Okay. List them in order of importance. I love that you let them off the hook with the, it's not your fault. What if you could? Okay. This is too many things. Okay. This is too many things. Slim it down a little bit. Keep it about the size of this photo. Maybe we can go a little bit above, but let's pick, it should be the opposite of these things. So if you pick the top 5 things that are bugging the shit out of your people, what if you could should be the opposite of this. Okay. So what if I had a natural reduction in belly fat just from balancing my hormones, right? What if I was able to keep my muscles and even gain some definition? What if I was able to jump out of bed with lots of natural energy, not needing 5 cups of coffee? Let's go. Whatever their top 5 things are, yay. This should just be the opposite of that. It doesn't need to be 12 or whatever. It doesn't need that. So let's go. Hey, I've lost the weight naturally without crazy ass diets. My muscle definition is coming back and I'm experiencing gains. My drive is is through the roof now. Right. And that gives me naturally through energy throughout the day to be who I want to be. Let's get to our top 5 right here. Okay. Okay, because I want to make sure to spend time on the rest of this, I'm going to leave it with those changes because even at this point, like there's so many things for you to change. I'm always most concerned about this, okay? The header. The header is what either people see it and they stay on the page and they keep reading, and that gives you the chance to sell the test to them. Or they're like, no, seems generic. It's not really me. And they bounce and you don't make the sale. Okay. So from Instagram, make the changes that I told you. Do not put the price on there. Okay. And use an embedded command, right? Test your hormones now is an embedded command. Get your hormone tested. That's an embedded command because it has a verb. Okay. And then when they get to this page, they will see the $199. And then we can find out, is the $199 a problem or not a problem, right? Like we can find that out here. We don't want to be figuring that out on Instagram. On Instagram, we just want the conversions. Okay. So I want to see those changes made here. Okay. Now I'm going to say I buy. And when I buy, I'm going to come on into a different page. So let me stop sharing screen here. Okay. Actually, let me do this. Yeah. Stop sharing screen. Okay. Test, don't guess. It works. Okay. Got it. All right. I know we went over because I spent time on her Instagram, you guys, but just circle back and watch it later. Totally get it. Okay. Let me hide that screen. Okay. We'll hide this. Okay. And then we have some. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. And then some people are asking about how to do their own lab test funnel, but that's on a different channel. Let me just make sure that you guys have that. If you're like, hey, I want to build my own lab test funnel and I don't want to do it from scratch, I want that template that you're editing, you guys can get that template here. And as a matter of fact, if you get it before April 6th, there's a workshop on April 7th. It's a live 3-hour workshop. And Travis has an AI powered process for you to get that sales page that we just looked at done, like completed, finished, done, a high converting copy for your lab test funnel sales page. So if you're thinking about doing it, do it before April 6th, and then you get to come to the workshop, which is super cool because the AI process that you'll use to create that lab test funnel sales page, like once you know how to do it, you could use it to make your second and third and fourth lab test funnel because these perform so well that most practitioners end up having more than one, right? So if you're the kind of person who typically does, an oat and you do oat and Dutch and stool, then ultimately you end up having all three of those test funnels, and you bring in people who their primary challenge is hormones or gut or whatever, right? So it's helpful to have more than one. So even if you attend that workshop to do your first one, it'll empower you to do multiples in the future, which is super helpful. Okay. So take advantage of that. So now, once someone buys the lab test funnel, now we're in what's called the marketing golden hour. And the marketing golden hour is this amazing amount of time between when they ordered the test from you and the test results come in. Okay. Now, if it's a serum test, that might be a matter of days. If it's a Dutch test, it might be multiple weeks. Okay. So it depends how long your marketing golden hour is, depends on how long the test results take to come back. Okay. So, but it doesn't matter. You want to be taking advantage of the time between when they ordered the test and when they get the test results. Why? Because that's when they're anxious to get the test results back. They're most committed. They're excited. They want the answers. They want information. That's your time to show up like the rock star that you are. Okay. So really quick, I just want to do a walkthrough of the member portal, and I want to tell you what I would change about her member portal so that you guys can do a really good version of this. Okay. So what I want to do is make sure that you see. So let me go ahead, and I'm already logged into this, but I will tell you one thing that she did is I'll put this at the bottom of the screen because I can see you guys are still scanning this. Totally smart to get yourself the lab test funnel now and come to that workshop. What you will learn from Travis is just AI gangster. It's so good for your business. Yes, we'll use it to create the lab test funnel sales page, but you can use it in other things in your business too. I love everything that we can do with AI. As a matter of fact, we just ordered Mac Minis to have AI working full time on one computer so that it doesn't slow down my computer. It's like so cool what's happening now. We live in the most miraculous time, you guys. It's just most miraculous time. Okay. If we bought lab test funnel, here, let me move this out of the way and make sure I get this question answered. If we bought lab test funnel, should we wait until April 6th to create it to take advantage of this session? If you already bought it, you should be in there and you should be getting started. Even if you change the copy, it doesn't matter. But if you bought it and you hadn't got started yet, then yeah, just wait until and April 6th is the last day you can buy and get attendance at the free implementation workshop. It's 3 hours straight, you guys. We're going straight through and we're just going to get it done. But the workshop happens on April 7th. That's why you have to buy by April 6th, because the workshop happens on the 7th and we're just not going to be hustling at the last minute to get all the stragglers in. So you want to get it now and make sure you're enrolled. And then anyone who has lab test funnel already, all of the lab tests. So if you bought lab test funnel earlier, like when I first did a launch for it, before the book came out, you will also get an invite. Okay. So we're not penalizing anybody who bought it before. She's saying she's so excited for the workshop. Me too. You're going to have such a good time and you're going to learn so much about AI. Okay, let's go ahead and hide this. And I'm going to share a different screen. So what you're about to see is called a member portal. So after people buy the lab test funnel, what happens is they're going to get an email from you. It's like, oh, you're one smart gluten-free cookie, right? You're one smart gluten-free cookie for investing in this test. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to log in. I want you to watch how to do blah, 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 all the things, right? And so we send this to this mini member portal because if we send people like you guys right now, let's say that you're watching me right now on YouTube. Okay. Well, YouTube is probably showing you some pretty distracting stuff over here, right? And since we all have the attention span of a gnat online, you might be distracted to go click on other things. I hope not, but I want you to stay and hang out with me, but you might, right? And so we send people into our own mini member portal to watch the video on, how do they order the lab? How does it come to their house or whatever, and all the helpful videos that we have for them while they're waiting for the test results. We do that because we send them to a mini member portal that there's nothing else to distract them. The only other things that could distract them are things that we want them to be distracted by, like booking a call with us, like buying supplements that we advocate for, or buying one of our programs like that, right? So there is a reason why we do this, okay? So what you're seeing is the member portal that the buyers of your lab test funnel will see. And what I'm checking for is she doing an amazing job of connecting with them, providing value, And my hope is that we will see content that will make them excited to buy the full hormone rebalancing program with her, because that's her back end offer. That's the thing that she wants to sell a shit ton of. Okay. So I call it appetizer content. If the hormone balancing program is the main meal that we hope everyone buys, okay, let's say that that meal is scalloped potatoes and a filet mignon and grilled asparagus. Okay. That's the main meal. So she's gonna, that's the main meal that she wants to buy. Well, then the appetizer content should show off how well the chef does potatoes, asparagus, and meat, right? Or potatoes, vegetables, and meat, right? It doesn't really matter. So I want to see that she's what we call seeding. She's planting a seed for them to start desiring the program on the back end. Does that make sense? Okay. So for example, if her approach to hormones was, hey, we have to start by reducing inflammation, and then we have to address the gut because hormone precursors are made there. And then we can go ahead and start optimizing the hormones and see if we need bioidenticals or anything like that. If that was her 3 phases, then we want to see that she's connecting the dots between their symptoms and pain points and inflammation. She's connecting their pain points and desires, what the gut has to do with that. And then she's connecting the pain points of how to get the optimal version of the results that they want by refining their hormones. Everybody see it? You guys see it? So the logic is she starts to connect the dots earlier so that when she gets them on the lab interpretation call and she's making the sale, they already know the role of inflammation, gut, and then refining the hormones after. Everybody see it? So if she doesn't see that desire, her interpretation calls are going to be harder to close the sale. But if she's done that in advance in this content portal, easy peasy, the conversion is off the charts. Okay. If you came to the Labs to Lead Summit, you saw Dr. Brian Bakke sharing that he had gone from under 30% close rates to over 70 something, 75 or something, right? All because of this, all because of his lab test funnel. So this part is important. All right. Take notes. Okay. Now we're going to go share screen on not that page, but this page. Okay. So here's her member portal. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Brooke, thank you again for doing this. Everyone is going to learn, and you're going to be making changes on your funnel that's going to help you convert like hotcakes. This is such a huge service to the entire community. I am so blessed to know you, and I'm so grateful that you are doing this. Okay, so now we're going to stop that share and we're going to start this share. Okay, so here is her membership site. Okay, so this is what it looks like inside her membership site. Okay. Okay, somebody is asking for this QR code. I think I can put it at the bottom and then you guys should be able to see it. I want it bigger so you can see her thing. Okay, I'll put this up here and then I'm just gonna get rid. Oh, I have a better way of doing it, you guys. Hide. Boop. There. Okay, there's a little one. It's up in the corner. You can get Lab Test Funnel if you need it. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. So let's go on over here to her member portal. Okay. And do you see how she's got this dark blue and the only color pop is yellow? So she could totally do a dark blue square on her sales page with a bright yellow call to action button. And that would get rid of the conversion killing red. That would be a great idea for her. And it would match with your brand anyway. So I love that change for you. Okay. So here she's got the video like welcoming them. I absolutely love that. Okay. I see that it's her. Hi, Miss Pretty. There you are, right? I see that it's her. I'm in the right site. I love that. And look how the only things that can distract me, if I have the attention span of a gnat, the only things that can distract me are booking a call with her. So obviously that tells me she wants more calls in her business. Okay. Or just connecting with her on any one of these formats or putting in a support ticket. Now, I like Miss Brooke. I would like her to make more money. So I would also have my favorite hormone balancing bundle and I would put it, like above this, right? I would probably even put it above her, right? So I would probably put my favorite hormone balancing bundle there because some people, we're just conditioned with that, like a pill for every ill, a supplement for every symptom. And so you might get people who want to dive into that right away. Okay. Now, if you don't have a favorite hormone balancing bundle, obviously that wouldn't apply to you. But if you do, I would love to see that as an option over here. Okay. The other option that I would put over here is she has an entire hormone balancing program and I don't see an ad for that here. Whoop. I would put it. Okay. I would put a promotion right over here. Okay. Or I would put a testimonial for someone who had great success balancing their hormones with her. And I would say, hey, do the exact same hormone protocol that she did. Click here to find out. And then it would take them to the full program's sales page. Okay. So that's what I would do to get her more money coming in. I love that she's got her welcome video here. I always like a button right here to take them to the next step. So in her case, she has set up her lab test funnel in a really unique way. I like this. Some people do it this way. Some people do it differently. And she's got her actual program in here too. So she has a 3-phase program: reset, renew, refine. And this is for people who actually bought the whole program. So what she's done is put her entire program here in this site. Okay. And if I bought the lab test funnel and the lab test funnel only, I would only have access to this tab right here. And if I wanted to click on this stuff, I would be taken to, oh, you're not a member of this, but click here to find out more. And then it would, or click here to get enrolled. And it would take me to the sales page and I could buy, and then I would have access to all of it. I love that. That's a cool way to set it up. Okay. So people who purchased her lab test, they're only going to be in here. Okay. So we have a welcome video from her. Okay. This is great. And now she does have the button that takes them to the next step. Again, I feel like these red discovery calls, that could really be a conversion killer. So I think we should be careful about that. And then at the end of each video, she's taking me to the next tab. So, and if I just did it here, I could just follow along. So she's got a welcome video for me. She has a video explaining exactly how I'm going to get my labs done. It looks like she's scheduling a draw through Rupa with LabCorp, or they can use a remote phlebotomist. So she's telling me exactly how I'm going to go about getting my test results. I love that for her. And then while I'm waiting for my results, while you wait, watch the first lesson. Okay. Now, she should be linking me to the first lesson right here. So this right here, watch the first lesson, should link to the next session, which is this one. Now, here's what she's doing, you guys. Look how it says intro to reset, intro to renew, and intro to refine. She could do that. Okay. But I bet it would convert better if, instead of talking about reducing inflammation, balancing hormone naturally, and optimizing the diet, lifestyle, and supplements with hormone therapy, that literally is what these 3 sections of her bigger program are about. Okay. But remember how I said, when we lead with the medical topic, which is reducing inflammation, the hormones, etc., that's more of a peer-to-peer discussion. And what will actually get them excited is the benefits that they stand to gain from that. Okay. So instead of saying right here, instead of intro to reset, I might connect the dots and say weight loss and inflammation, right? Like I would connect the dots between what does my excess belly fat have to do with my inflammation, right? What does my lack of drive have to do with that? I would connect the dots to the symptom they're most likely to get traction on solving, and I would lead them in with the desires that they want. Because truth be told, they don't have a desire to reduce their inflammation. They have a desire to lose belly fat. They have a desire to increase muscle gain. They have a desire to have natural drive. And if we can connect the dots between the things that they really want and the inflammation and the gut health and the hormone balancing, as soon as we do that, the yeses start rolling in and the conversion starts going through the roof. Okay. Again, I see that it's a subtle change that, I've been doing this for a long time. Okay. But I'm asking her to make this change because intro to reset is pretty straightforward, that she's kind of pitching these things, right? Where I would rather that she hid the fact that it was an intro to the reset by leading me in with a win that I want, right? Fast, safe weight loss, healthy, steady muscle gains, optimizing my drive. Like, I would like it if she led me into that content with the result that I'm hoping to get from that content. Everybody see it? Okay. That would convert much better for her. What I want to congratulate her on is, check this out. She's got a video that's going to introduce me to this. The first step to feeling better is inflammation. Feeling better is typically pretty generic. If she was to dial in and speak to, winning competitions, seeing the fat go away, seeing muscle gains or definition come back or start gaining, any of those things, the less generic that we are, the more dialed in we are to the symptoms, the more it's going to connect with our audience. Okay. And again, the other people who are not quite looking to run a marathon, they just want to get to whatever yoga class like me every day. They're still going to be like, oh, yeah, well, I still want to perform better in my yoga class, even if I don't want to be able to lift my, twice my body weight on a big metal bar. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be so taken by her success with what she's doing and the people in the community that I'm still going to see it as a win for me. So that's where, the riches are in the niches. It really does work, even if it doesn't, even if it doesn't seem like it. Okay. All right. And then she's got a summary of exactly what she's covering in that video. So the only change that I would make here is that I would still, and you guys, it's the same content. So is she still going to talk about inflammation? Yeah. I'm just asking her to put it in a slightly different wrapper. And the wrapper is the hidden secret to this result. So inflammation might be the hidden first step, right? So if she's saying, weight loss, the hidden first step, or safe weight loss, the hidden first step, healthy muscle gains, my number one trick, right? So she could queue up any one of these topics that she wants to talk about: inflammation, hormones, lifestyle change. She could queue up any one of those as like the secret how we get it done, but the end result of why we would even want to do that in the first place. If she leads with that, she'll get better conversion. All right. Now, all of this culminates, all of this content. So she's done a great job in here. She's got the right candy in here. She's got content that sets people up to do the work to resolve inflammation. She's got content that is going to help them do the work to understand their what they have to do to balance their hormones. And then once they're on that track, she's got the candy in here that's going to introduce them to wanting the whole process for refining once they're on track. So she's got the right 3 appetizer content videos in here. I just want her to wrap it in a slightly more appealing way so she gets more content consumption from people. Okay. And then the final video that people watch is understanding your results. Okay. Some people call this the lab explanation video. Okay. And this is going to be her walking people through the test. Now, obviously, she's going to be HIPAA compliant. We're not going to see anybody's name on there. Okay. And ideally, she's walking them through them in such a way that she's sharing stories of when people were high or low, so other people can hear their own symptoms in other women's stories. Okay. And then what does she want them to do? Okay. Right now, it looks like she is going to some bonus supplement sales. Ooh, okay. So yeah, she's got her bundle. She does have a bundle, you guys. She has the basic wellness bundle. She has the ultimate wellness bundle. So I could see ads over here on this side. That would be great. Okay. She could even put the discount code. I love that. Okay. But let me go back. So let's go back to her understanding your lab results. And the final step here is we want to know, is she going to sell us? Like if we do the private interpretation here, which is the discovery call, I'm going to go ahead and click the button. If we go, then we need to know what happens. So the last phase that we need to check for her, and I need to start sharing screen. Okay. I'm going to stop. Oh no, you guys can see it because it pops. Okay. So let me just pick a random date here. Okay. We'll pick today at 3:30 p.m. Next. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing screen while I put in my info. So I don't have my info on the interwebs. Okay. Let me go ahead and put this in here. Okay. Okay. So now I want you guys to see what is happening here. Let me get this in. It didn't take my email. Joy, yeah, you guys know my business email anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. Joy@HealAtScale.com. You guys are welcome to email my business email anytime you want. Okay, great. So now, oh my gosh. Okay, so can you guys see this? Let me share screen. Okay, so she sent me to the Calendly. I got to pick my day. I got to pick my time. And it says 15-minute discovery call from lab test funnel. And she didn't ask me any questions, you guys. Okay. So that is not the way that we teach to set up your book called funnel process. It's not. Why? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing screen, and I'm going to tell you why this is not how we set it up. Okay. So let me stop sharing, come back to you guys. Okay. I'll just also check chat. Okay. Quick logistical question. Was this a session that came with about the labs to lead to summon up? No, this is just a feedback review that someone bravely offered. The workshop, the 3-hour implementation workshop to get your own lab test funnel sales page is happening on April 7th. Okay. So if you purchase lab test funnel, you'll get that invitation automatically. If you didn't, use the code that's right there. Right there. Okay. Use the code that's right there to get your lab test funnel. Once you purchase it, you're going to get an automatic invitation to come to the workshop. Okay. Amy, yeah, everyone who purchases lab test funnel is on the list, and you will get your invite via email. Okay. It's 1 p.m. Pacific time on April 7th, 1 to 4. Okay. Everyone's thanking you, Brooke, for being on the chopping block today. Okay. Jamie's saying, I love that it teases what you're missing out by not enrolling. Exactly. So in her member portal, how she had the other stuff and you could see it, but you couldn't access it. That is such a good tease, and it works really, really well. Okay. Heather is sharing with you guys. You guys are so nice. I love when you support each other. Okay. What member platform is she using? She is using the Kartra platform. We build it on both Kartra and Go High Level. So whichever one you want to use. We also just show you what the page design should look like if you want to recreate it in whatever the hell funnel builder you're using. I personally was on Kartra, and I'm moving to everything to Go High Level right now just because it's more advanced, it's keeping up with the time. So that's kind of where we're going. And if you need a link for that, just let me know. Reach out to me via Instagram. And I think I have a thing that gets you guys like a free month or something. So DM me if you need that. Okay. So now what I wanted to talk to you about, you guys, is I wanted to talk to you about why should she not send them to her calendar, let them book the day and the time, and not ask them any questions. She's shooting herself in the foot. A lot of that 15-minute call is going to likely be wasted on finding out what symptoms they're currently experiencing, how they're feeling, no. Because you could, like, you guys know this, right? How long can patients sit and complain to you? I think indefinitely, maybe, right? Like you don't want to waste your time sitting through everything that they're experiencing, everything that they're trying. So I have a very specific formula for the questions that you should be asking so that when you get on the call, you're like say it's me on the call, you'd be saying, hey, Joy, it looks like you're noticing some differences in your skin and your hair. You're noticing some differences in your drive. You're not able to keep muscle on the way that you used to, and you're having a little change in your mid center and you want to stop it before it gets started. Is that right? All I have to say is, yeah, exactly. Not 20 minutes of me explaining all of those things and what I've noticed and what my doctor said. No, like I want you to ask those questions on your Calendly intake form so that when you get on the session, you can say, okay, great. It looks like you said you're experiencing this and this and this. Is that right? Yes. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that. Not at all uncommon. And when we look at your test, which we're going to do now, we're going to see exactly why that's happening. And I can help you use this data to understand what correlates with symptoms based on what I've seen in my own patients and clients. Would you like that? And they're going to be like, yeah, let's get into it, right? Otherwise, you're sitting there the whole fucking 15 minutes listening to them like bitch and moan. And that is not a good use of their time or your time. It just is not, you guys. It's not. So you want to gather all the information that you need from them so that you can be like, oh, it looks like A, B, and C. Is that right? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like give them some empathy, give them some understanding. Why don't we move on right now to looking at your test results and let's see if we can put the things together and see why this might be happening. And then once we do that, we move into, hey, you know what? This is not at all an uncommon hormone disruption profile. I see this so frequently. Would you like to see my process for resolving scenarios like this? And of course, they're going to say yes. And that's when she would show them her, what was it? Like reset, rebuild, I can't remember. It was 3 R's. Okay. But she had that 3-phase program, right? So So she would say, hey, I have a 3-phase program. It's called the Oasis Hormone Therapy Reboot or whatever she calls it. And it has 3 phases. We start here and then we do this and then we do this. I even have like a question where you can say, hey, rate yourself red, yellow, green. If people want to use that, they use that. That's something that I teach in the mastermind. The sales process should be really smooth, and it should be much more of them self-evaluating than you evaluating them. And then you make an invitation to come on in. And then that's where the true, support and coaching and everything happens in the back end program. Okay. So Brooke, that is a big mistake. So that needs to change immediately. So you're going to go into Calendly and you're going to set up the questions. Okay. As a practitioner accelerator member, there are 2 sessions that I want you to watch immediately. One of them is called Selling with Soul. Okay. And then if you want to use the 9 question where you show off your model and you just have them like give you a red, yellow, or green answer, it moves really fast. And then you can invite them to work with you privately or join the group program. That conversation is taught in detail. And I even do an example with Megan, another practitioner who was having people push for too much free information on the call. And I coached her through it step by step. I acted like I was the patient. And then I would say like, time out. I'm going to give you the coaching now. And then I'll step back into my role as a patient. I want you to watch those 2 right away. It's Selling with Soul and the choreography for using your content construct. Those 2 lessons in Practitioner Accelerator would serve you brilliantly. Okay. For all of you who are not mastermind members and you don't have access to that lesson, the quick takeaway is ask the questions that you need answers to in order to show up like a genius on that call, and then say, okay, great. This makes, based on what I'm seeing, I think it's time for us to look at your test and we can probably find reasons why you're feeling that way. And then I'll show you my process for fixing disruptions like this. Would you like to see that? They'll say yes. Then you show them. You should have a visual model that makes it easy to understand what you do. Because if you do not have that, I call it a content construct. You can call it whatever the hell you want, a model, a framework, a method, a process, a blueprint, call it whatever the hell you want, but have it visually ready for people to see. And that makes it easy for them to convert, because instead of it being some overwhelming thing they can never understand, they just look at the picture and they're like, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I get it. I can do 3 phases. That doesn't sound overwhelming. Whereas if we got into the nitty gritty of everything in each phase, they'll be like, that sounds hard. And like, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a lot, right? So we want to boil it down to its simplest component so it doesn't feel daunting. Okay. So we got changes for your Instagram. Okay. We got changes for your lab test funnel sales page. We have changes for your member portal. All of those changes will help conversion. Okay. If there's one overall sweeping thing that I would say to Dr. Brooke, just hold on, like fully be you, who you are, which is a badass bitch in the hormone space. Like you are a badass, like literally you are winning awards for your sport of choice. Okay. The percentage of people on the planet that are doing that is like tiny, like less than 1%. Okay. So I would say embrace your own personality, inject it right into this funnel so that people get those muscle gains and the fat loss and the ramped up drive, just like you do. Just like you have, because the people who see you having that kind of wins are going to want what you have. And I want to see what you have, your personality, your drive, your competitiveness. I want to see that injected into this funnel so it's a little less generic and it's a little more specific to your personal style. Okay. Most of all, I want to say thank you. Okay. Because letting me go through this with a fine tooth comb, obviously it does help you. It's self-serving. I have private clients who pay me $10K to do a full funnel walkthrough, right? So like, I get that the value is there, so I could get why you said yes, but those private clients are doing that behind closed doors. And that does not benefit the rest of the community. That keeps a very elitist vibe, right? So everyone who can be behind the velvet curtain gets to win in their health business. And those of us floating around out here in the wilderness, we don't know what we should be doing differently. And we don't know what we don't know, right? Like even like your clients, they don't know what they don't know. And it takes you to turn the lights on to the silly things that are doing that are fucking up their hormones, right? So I want to make sure that you inject your personality in there. I want you to make the changes that were suggested, but most of all, I want you to feel the gratitude of this entire community that you have taken this level of detailed coaching from behind the curtain and you pulled it out here into the front where all of your practitioner peers can profit from this, can take a look at their own social media channels, can take a look at their own funnel pages and their own member portals and their own book a call pages and make the kind of changes that we talked about today. Okay. You just did something that proves a rising tide lifts all ships. Okay. I will see you guys next Tuesday. For those of you who are thinking about building your own lab test funnel, make sure you hook yourself up in time to come to that workshop. It is an implementation workshop. It's Tuesday, April 7th from 1 p.m. Pacific to 4 p.m. Pacific. It is a straight hour. It's a straight 3-hour get shit done. So if you can, like, move patients off that day, like block that time, you deserve it. Walking away with your lab test sales page done, ready to rock, dude, that's just going to be so good for you. You can hit the ground running and you can get this going really, really quickly. Okay. If you have questions, please, as always, reach out to me over on Instagram. And my EA may get to them first, and then she just pulls them to my attention, and then we jump in there and we answer them together. But if you have any questions about this, please reach out. I am more than happy to help. All right. I'll speak to y'all soon.